Some fights are special in just how bad they are.
I don't think it's funny. I shouldn't be laughing this much either, to be honest with you.
Today, we're going to count down our picks of the top 10 worst fights from the last decade in boxing.
Not one person is as pissed as me!
That means we're looking at fights between 2010 and 2019 that were either so bad that they were as enthralling as good fights.
You talk about throwing a punch from Australia, he's throwing his from some other planet I don't know.
However, other times, bad fights offer no replay value whatsoever and should only be viewed again in a video like this.
And that was embarrassing. They should hold up that man's purse. That was one of the worst displays of a fight I've ever seen.
Today on SMB Boxing, we will present to you a collection of fights that were either bad but entertaining, or Robert Easter Jr. and Rances Barthelemy combined to land just 106 punches in 12 rounds of boxing, which was the second lowest of any 12-round fight over the course of the last decade.
Mo, on principle alone, I've given Easter no rounds and Barthelemy no rounds. I mean, this is a miserable fight to score.
In this round, Barthelemy has thrown 13 punches so far.
Is that good?
No, it's not.
A minute left in the day.
That was not a compliment.
Unsurprisingly, the judges couldn't split Easter Jr. and Barthelemy, and the fight was scored a draw.
And the title remains vacant.
Are you at all surprised?
Of 142 pounds, and yes, the top dog at 140 pounds, Danny Garcia, in a non-title affair against a mega underdog, Rod Salka.
The fight went pretty much as the fans and the media expected it would. Salka showed a lot of heart, but was completely overmatched and went down twice before being brutally knocked out by a left hook from Garcia in the second round.
In December, he appeared on Show Extreme and he just got rattled there by Danny Garcia, and down goes Rod Salka.
And there's a lot of time left in this round. I see him loading up everything.
And a knee is taken by Salka.
Referee Steve Williams making a face like he wants to stop this.
And he may be very close to doing so, but Salka showing his grit. And Hart gets rocked with that left hook. Salka down, and it's over. Statement made by Danny Garcia. So no surprise, as he was the prohibitive favorite.
Harrison appeared to completely freeze, while Hay was uncharacteristically cautious, and the crowd booed loudly at the end of round one after neither fighter landed a single punch.
No punches landed in this round so far.
Harris is making sure of that, so not too much happened and the crowd are aware of that.
For much of the second round, the action did not improve, causing the referee at one stage to step in and tell both men to start making a fight of it.
Whatever method you have to use to do that. And I think the referee's going to have to call for a bit of action. He's done that.
He has. Luis Pabon from Puerto Rico says, how about some action, guys? And he's well within his rights to do that.
In the third round, Hay rocked Harrison with a right hand and then followed it up with a sustained attack that put Harrison on the canvas.
To become a world champion. Now the big right hand has hurt him. He was stunned by that. The gloves were dropped. Hay knows it. Looks for an uppercut. Getting to him here. He's getting to him here. Oh, big shots raining through. Harrison has to suck it up. He does suck it up.
Ian, that was a tremendous punch. Full credit for taking that. He needs to grab hold. He needs to grab hold of David Hay.
Harrison did get up, but Hay quickly rushed in and rocked him once more, which prompted the referee to jump in and stop the fight.
And he's going to finish it here. I think he does finish it. All over in round three. There's your answer. David Hay shows his class in a fight in which only Harrison barely threw a punch.
Following the disappointing outcome of the fight, both men were investigated by the British Boxing Board of Control. Hay was investigated after he suggested in several post-fight interviews that he had bet on himself to win in the third round.
I can punch and land punches whenever I choose to. That's why this fight went to the third round. I put a lot of money on the third round. A lot of my friends and family did, so I didn't want to let them down by doing them too early. I said everyone it would go in 3, and it's exactly what he did. There's a lot of people made a lot of money tonight.
Did this.
6.5. Whoa. And I frankly don't have an explanation for this.
No, he went down to one knee before even taking a punch, and the fight's over.
The sequence was reminiscent of Curtis Harper's walkout at the start of a 2018 fight against Efe Ajagba, and Keane, who did actually land a soft jab, was awarded a first-round TKO victory.
Simo, the Grizzly Keane.
After the decision on the fight was made, Keane issued an apology to the fans who had paid to see him compete.
Moi, je ferais jamais ça, une affaire comme ça, c'est impensable, mais vraiment désolé pour tout. Merci sur Eye of the Tiger et tout. Merci, au revoir.
Wata later explained via first all-British world heavyweight title fight in 17 years spectacularly failed to live up to the pre-fight expectations. WBA champion David Haye and challenger Audley Harrison's unsavory trash talk in the build-up to their grudge match generated a lot of interest in Britain. Initially, Haye was the big favorite to retain his belt. But as the fight got closer, Harrison's ultra-confident persona convinced many boxing observers that he was capable of pulling off an upset debut against Richard Dawson, who had a 2-0 record. Although Flintoff's effort was sincere, the technique he displayed was like something you'd expect to see in a drunken bar fight, and the only meaningful punch that Dawson threw put Flintoff on the canvas.
He's just slapping a little bit with that right hand, that's all. The jab's a good shot from him, the jab's working well.
Pals are here. His wife ringside as well. Oh, dear.
With the right hand.
Oh, he's on steady legs. And anxious looks from the family. Oh, he's looking straight back at the referee to come forward. He's got to tie up Flintoff. Fans along the way. Right hand from Flintoff there.
The guy out.
8 months of hard toil and graft, of staying away from the pizza and the red wine. And from Flintoff.
Good right hand there by Flintoff. He turned from the core.
After 4 2-minute rounds, Flintoff won the fight by a decision. Anthony Joshua on the panel show A League of Their Own and got roasted for his performance.
Just slapping a little bit with that right hand, that's all. The jab's a good shot.
His pals are here. Just got caught one way round.
Let me take this back.
I mean, what do you think, Washim?
I think you're like terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't think it's funny. I shouldn't be laughing this much either, to be honest.
Luis Gonzalez met American Big Ben Smith in his first year as a prize fighter in 1991.
I want you to obey my commands at all times. When I tell you to break, you break cleanly. Understand? Protect yourself at all times. Shake hands and come out boxing at the belt.
Just moments into the first round, Gonzalez made Big Ben call time on his night in the ring after he landed a right hand that mostly hit the American's shoulder and then bundled him through the ropes and onto the ring apron.
All right, this is round one. Gonzalez, the taller of the two fighters. He wears the red trunks with the black trim. Big Ben Smith in the black trunks with the white stripe. And he comes out fighting like a wild man, and he rolls into the cheap seats. He's hanging on for dear life already, and he hasn't even been hit, Chuck. Not a good sign.
He's having a rather impromptu meeting with the commission. I wonder what they're telling him.
Well, they're looking over his license right now and wiping the sweat off his pants. Let's see. Don't tell me he's claiming to be hurt. He's going to wave it off. Oh. I don't think the fans are going to be too happy with this performance. And the Boxing Commission, which now has an indelible impression of Big Ben Smith all over their trousers, may not forget what he's done in the ring here tonight in Florida. Here's another look at it. We'll see if we can find something for you. Looks like Ben Smith needs a seeing-eye dog there as he comes in.
Now
all right, he corrals him around the neck and throws him through the ring. I mean, Big Ben didn't even get clocked.
Well, he struck out here. Big Ben Smith seems very pleased to pick up a paycheck. Not a knockdown, Brian Gary is telling us. He was thrown out of the ring, and he simply quit. Something not quite right with Big Ben Smith tonight. Perhaps the sight of Jorge Gonzalez enough to shake him up.
Although the commentators humorously summed up the fight, the ring announcer Mark Bureau deserves a mention for this troll moment.
The time, a John Unitas, 19 seconds of the first round. The winner by technical knockout, Jorge Gonzalez.
Points in the 5th, 8th, and 11th round, but would still win the fight by a decision.
The new British champion. The bell's going to go any minute, and it will be down to the judges.
And new cruiserweight champion, Lawrence Okolie.
Malik Scott showed up with his running shoes on for his 2016 fight against Luis Ortiz. From the opening bell, Scott was in survival mode, and despite being warned by the referee to start fighting midway through the first round, Scott barely did.
You know, and here you see him sliding over, trying to make the ring smaller and smaller for Malik Scott.
Round after round, Scott constantly moved around the ring while Ortiz pressed the action and tried to get Scott to engage. When Ortiz did manage to pin Scott in a corner or against the ropes and land some punches, Scott hit the canvas.
Knows that he's had problems with big punches in his temple.
Malik Scott go down there. It's like he's anticipating that he's supposed to fall down.
Scott went down a total of 7 times throughout the fight, but only 3 were counted as knockdowns by the referee.
But here's Luis Ortiz doing all the punching.
There's the left hand to the head, and finally, apparently, Lene is going to call this a knockdown.
And Scott claiming a rabbit punch, maybe hoping to get a DQ or something.
Doesn't look like he's in any hurry to get up.
The guy's throwing
now
a punch.
Lene helps him up.
Scott didn't appear to be hurt on any of the scored knockdowns. His landings on the canvas were more a way of escaping major damage.
At this stage in Ortiz's career, do you want this or do you want nothing? This is better than nothing. And there down goes Malik Scott.
That'll be the second knockdown, and again, Scott puts his glove behind his head as if to say, I was rabbit punched, but that didn't appear to be the case there.
5 boring rounds, followed by the kind of knockout where maybe Malik Scott's complaining falsely about a rabbit punch. Just makes the whole night stink. Best thing about this fight so far, it's on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The more eyeballs watch something like this, the less inclined they are to watch more boxing. I just feel like in order to get this out of my head, I have to go home and watch, like Holyfield Bowl 1 or something like that. I need to somehow counteract this experience.
It is now.
Oh, there it is.
So we finish all 12 rounds in Monaco, and then obviously frustrated Luis Ortiz appeared to win every round.
After Ortiz won the fight by a landslide on points, Scott's lack of effort was illustrated in the punch. In 1997, the heavyweight division went through a dark period of high-profile fights, ending with controversy and disqualification.
Good luck, 12 rounds.
Firstly and secondly, Andrew Collada was DQ'd in both of his fights against Riddick Bowe in 1996 because he couldn't stop himself from hitting Bowe's nether regions. The first DQ also triggered an infamous full-blown riot at Madison Square Garden.
This ring has been stormed by thugs and hooligans.
Thirdly, Oliver McCall suffered a nervous breakdown during a rematch against Lennox Lewis in February of 1997 and lost his WBC title when the bout was stopped in the 5th round.
Something's not right.
That's it. That is it. The fight is over.
And fourthly, in a highly anticipated rematch in June of 1997, Mike Tyson was disqualified for biting Evander Holyfield's ears and then banned from boxing for 15 months.
Mike Tyson resorting to biting tactics, and he still wants more as he's being held back by Richie Giacchetti.
After Tyson's ear biting, boxing needed a lift, and the chance to restore some credit to the sport came around quickly, as Lennox Lewis had agreed to begin his second reign as the WBC champion with a title defense against Henry Akinwande in July of 1997.
Just how big a threat is Akinwande to Lewis?
Well, he might hug him to death, but he really is a threat.
At the very least, the all-British heavyweight clash just needed to be a decent spectacle without any controversy. However, as hinted at by Larry Merchant during the pre-fight broadcast, Akinwande appeared to suffer from stage fright and held Lewis as soon as he got into range, which prompted referee Mills Lane to issue a warning to the challenger in just the first 30 seconds of the contest.
They favor Lewis and his harder punching if he can be aggressive, and he's come out aggressively, initiating the exchanges with Akinwande in the first 30 seconds of the fight, and Mills Lane already with a conference about holding.
Unfortunately for everyone watching, Akinwande's holding only got worse, which led to Lane deducting a point off him in the second round and calling for a timeout so he could further attempt to shake the challenger up by bringing him over to his trainer, Don Turner.
When you challenge, you need to fight, or I'm going to chase you. And you can do better than that, you understand? Come on. Let's go. Come on.
This is the way it's going to have to be in boxing. The referee's going to have to step up these days.
In the third and fourth round, Akinwande not only continued to hold Lewis at every opportunity, he also didn't let go of the champion on multiple occasions when he was instructed to do so by Lane.
And the crowd begins to express its displeasure. Lewis tries a wild roundhouse right. Akinwande wraps him up. It ain't going to be pretty.
Ain't going to be pretty, and we're going to have a referee who's very tired.
Lewis still doing an effective job of ducking and slipping. But that time he doesn't get a punch off before Akinwande leans all over it. Akinwande killing 8, 10, 12 seconds at a time, just leaning all over Lewis.
This looks like a mating dance between two boa constrictors.
Solid punch there. Round 4 comes to a close. The crowd hopes for something better.
After more holding in the fifth round by Akinwande, Lane brought him over for the second time in the fight to his trainer, Don Turner, and issued a final warning.
For another 2-3 rounds, he's out of here.
Larry, you got it. Is in an embarrassing situation.
Yeah, he is.
He just had a big controversial disqualification in the state. He just don't want to do that quick.
Look, he looks like an Oreo cookie there, mixed in between those two big guys. Oh, Mills Lane is earning his money these days.
Time.
Second time that Lane has called Don Turner up.
You tell him next time he's gone, okay? You tell him.
Hey, Henry, he's getting ready to disqualify you.
You need to fight.
Don't let him disqualify you. He's about to drop dead, man. All you got to do is fight him. Fight him back. Get out there and fight.
Despite being given a final ultimatum by Lane, Akinwande clearly didn't want to engage in a fight, and when he held Lewis for over 20 seconds in the final minute of the round, Lane's patience finally ran out and he disqualified the challenger.
Well,
so he is utterly confused.
366 days ago, July 11, 1996, Galata disqualified while pounding Riddick Bowe in Madison Square Garden. 4 months later, Atlantic City Convention Center, Galata.
It's the end of the fight. We've had another disqualification.
Yep. There you go. That's the 4th major disqualification in the heavyweight division in 366 days. It was inevitable. There was nothing else Lane could do.